Hi, Bruce.
Hey, how are you, Cynthia?
I'm doing great. We're talking right now with Bruce Cross, and this is the Cross of Cross, Gunter, Witherspoon, and Galchus. He is the founder of the firm here in Little Rock, Arkansas, and he was a fantastic speaker a few minutes ago. Bruce is an expert on the NLRB, and your presentation was just outstanding.
Thanks, Cynthia, very much. I appreciate the comment.
It always is, because in this can be a dry topic.
Yeah.
In fact, employment law can be a dry topic.
Unless you get examples, it's
exactly,
very dry.
Exactly. But you always find a way to make it humorous, and you're one of the most popular speakers in the ARSHRM conferences. We always hear great things about you. So I wanted to take a minute, since we caught you. I know you're ready to go to lunch, but I wanted to get you to give us some idea about the NLRB board now that we have a new administration.
Right.
And tell us who's on the board and what's going to happen in December when the chair leaves.
Well, I mean, right now they finally got through. As you know, the administration had a hard time getting appointments, not only named, but then obviously through. It happened with the Secretary of Labor. Secretary Costa didn't ultimately make it through until
almost every nomination
till the end of May. 1st of June. So, I mean, realistically speaking, everything's been very slow. The same has been the case with the NLRB. Mm-hmm. They had a 3-member board. The 2 Democrats that are still there, plus the 1 remaining Republican, Phil Camara, who was named by the president as the chairman of the board.
He's also a very popular guy.
He's a popular guy, a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Good guy. He's the one whose term ends in December.
Sadly,
and has indicated that he does not plan on sticking around. So at that point in time, there'll be another opening, which will require another recommendation for an appointment, and then go through the process again. There are 2 other individuals, one of whom was appointed already. That was Mr. Kaplan. He's effectively taking the slot of the neutral. The way the board is comprised, you basically have 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, and then what they call a neutral. Mm-hmm. Generally speaking, the neutral leans in the direction of whichever the administration is. So in this instance, it's a Republican administration, so you would anticipate that the appointment for that particular position would be of a more conservative Republican, more pro-business type of person, and that's who Mr. Kaplan would be. The other person is Mr. Emanuel. He's an attorney with the Littler firm, and he is been gone through the process. He was approved by the committee, and is now up for vote in the Senate. I would anticipate that one again will likely happen within the next week or 2. I mean, it all depends with all of the craziness in Washington and the hurricanes and everything else. That's kind of delayed a lot of things. Mm-hmm. As usual, but I would anticipate that he too will get nominated.
Okay, so
that would give us the 5-person board at that point up until December. 3 Republicans or 3 effective pro-business individuals, and the 2 current Democrats who are both former union attorneys, so they're not going to be pro-business.
Absolutely. Okay. So what are we expecting as far as new regs out of the NLRB?
Well, I think from an NLRB standpoint, I would anticipate that the first thing that I can think of that the board will attempt to try to do, if they're going to go with rules, would be to try to rescind the ambush election rules. Those are the rules that...
So that's still alive?
That's still alive. It's still in play.
I was thinking that okay.
No,
well,
those are there.
Yeah, I would think that would be a top priority.
And until such time as the board reverses those rules, and they have to go through the administrative process to eliminate the rule, but they could go through that process and eliminate the rule.
Right.
The only other option to that is there is a bill in Congress to try to change the law, which would then prevent this type of administrative rulemaking from taking place in the future, because it would now be a congressional law. And
interesting.
So whether that law actually goes through both the House and the Senate and signed by the president is with everything else that's going on in Washington,
lengthy
it's highly
process.
Unlikely.
Right. Well, what do you think about the Weingarten rules? Do you think those will come back? for non-union employees?
I don't think so. I think the position that has, at least for not in the near future. Now, if a new administration came into play, you know, this thing has bounced around back and forth over the years, and you know, so I think if the appropriate majority was pro-union, then with the right case, again, you could see that bouncing back to a non-union setting where wine garden rights could be applicable. But for now, I don't see that happening anytime in the near future.
Okay, so we're basically on hold right now.
In a lot of respects, yes, because a lot of the key decisions that were overturned or made new law under the previous board, the Obama administration board, are going to take cases. And I know that there's been moves to try to find cases that they can bring up through the system, but they've got to get to the board. And then, of course, the idea would be to have them there so that decisions can be made reversing some of these decisions which changed a lot of precedent over an extended period of time. And so that's what it's going to take. So I would anticipate that there will be those moves over the course of the next, year or so to try to make those adjustments, in some of the key decisions, from email communications to all the social media stuff to the handbooks to the joint employer issues that all exist out there.
Right. So if people have questions about the NLRB or they just like to contact you, would you provide your contact information?
Certainly.
For everyone?
Yes, they can contact me at the office at 501-371-9999, or they can email me at bcross@cgwg.com. Awesome.
So much fun talking to you.
Thanks,
Thank you for the great presentation and your support of ARSHRM.
Love the organization, and they do a great job.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, Cynthia.